Greetings from the Jacobs School of Music Organ Department. We're so happy that you've chosen to audition for us in this very interesting time of pandemic, and we're making a few adjustments because of that. In order to get to know us better, we hope you've already been online and you've had a chance to look at our department homepage. When you do that, please be sure to push the red button at the top of that page, which leads you to our WordPress blog. That has a lot more information on it and gives you a fuller picture of what we're about. But back to the homepage, you'll also see a video that we made last year. In that video, the organ faculty each have a brief time to demonstrate a bit of their teaching and also talk about our own roles on the faculty and how we view this department. We think it gives you a really good insight into not only how we've designed our curriculum to be challenging and nurturing at the same time, but also to gain a little bit more information about how we view the ethos of our department.
But having the perspective of our current students is also important. In more normal times, our audition weekends include opportunities for you and of course your family to ask questions, and this particularly occurs in informal gatherings with our current organ majors.
I'd like to thank our graduate assistant David Boeckh for giving us a bit of a student's perspective of what it's like to be an organ major here at IU.
While this may not answer all of your questions, we hope that these comments from a wide range of students representing all degree and diploma programs will give you a broader insight into the department.
I'm Lynnli, and I'm the Carillon Associate Instructor, or AI. For those of you who don't know, a carillon is a musical instrument consisting of at least 23 tuned bells played from a console with manual batons and foot pedals. Students here at Bloomington have access to 2 carillons and a chime totaling over 100 bells that weigh a couple of tons. I teach students from undergrads to graduate students both inside and outside of Jacobs. If you're interested in bringing music for all of campus to hear, you're more than welcome to check out the carillon. I would love to have you. Our sonic range is a couple of miles, so get ready for some really big, beautiful bell sounds. If I'm not at the Met's Carillon where we are currently, you will most likely find me in one of the organ practice rooms, since I'm also a master's student in Dr. Fischel's organ studio. I really enjoyed my first semester here on campus. It's actually my first time in music school. Before coming to Bloomington, I actually studied literature as an undergrad and then consulted for the federal government for a couple of years. It's been quite a transition to become a full-time music student, but I've had really wonderful support from the faculty and peers here that has made the adjustment really easy. I couldn't imagine a better place to learn and grow as a musician, and I look forward to meeting all of the new students in the fall. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Stigall, and I'm a second-year undergraduate in the studio of Dr. Trent Whisenant, and I'm pursuing the Bachelor of Music degree in organ performance. One thing I particularly enjoy about being in Jacobs is the separation from the music conservatory and the other classes. Outside of Jacobs, I've had the opportunity to pursue a German minor. I've also been able to take courses in French, and last year I even took a yoga course for credit. So here at Jacobs, you certainly aren't limited to the music conservatory field. There are many opportunities outside of Jacobs while also having the education that a conservatory would give you. Another thing I would say specifically about our organ department here is the faculty's dedication to their students. One story I always like to tell happened during my first year here. My teacher, Dr. Fischel, had a concert in Arizona, and her plane got delayed to where she had to take a red-eye flight overnight, and she still taught me at 8 o'clock in the morning. So things like that are happening all the time here, and I think the faculty's dedication to their students is one of the greatest benefits here and is something that I particularly enjoyed. The relationship between the studios here is one of great camaraderie and friendship. We're a really big family, and I have great friends across all 3 studios here. I don't ever feel like there's a sense of hard competition, though I do feel like we push each other and challenge each other in healthy ways. So I've had the great opportunity to be an undergraduate organ scholar under Dr. Marilyn Kaiser at Trinity Episcopal Church here in Bloomington. That's been great for me to put some of the more practical church music-based skills that I've learned here at IU and put those into practice in a real church job. So that's one great experience that I've had here.
I'm Diana Chou. I'm a second-year doctoral student in the Young Studio. I did my undergrad at Amherst College in Massachusetts, double majoring in math and music. I did my master's degree here, graduating in 2017 with an M in organ. I went to Yale for 2 years. I did an MMA in organ there, and then I have come back for my doctorate. So I'm the associate instructor of organ here, which means that I teach organ lessons to most of the non-majors. So typically that'll be a lot of the undergrad piano majors who perhaps want to experience the organ but don't really have any organ background. But it's really open to anyone. I've definitely taught students who aren't in Jacobs at all. So I've taught business students, I've taught an undergrad economics student. So it's really like a little bit across the board, which is really great in terms of instructional experience. The faculty members here really give you a lot of flexibility in terms of what you want to teach in the curriculum. They're always happy to provide guidance or suggestions if you need help. This was my first experience teaching organ. But on the whole, they're fairly happy to kind of let you decide for yourself a course of instruction for your students. And it's not necessarily the same for all students. So for example, if you have a harpsichord student who's really interested in delving deeper into the early side of things, you might focus a little bit more on early technique. If you have students who have a little bit more limited piano background in general, you might also coach them on just general basic keyboard technique. It's an experience I found really rewarding. I've learned a lot from it and enjoyed teaching all of my students. So a little bit about my undergrad experience. I did not major specifically in organ. I went to a small liberal arts college with a small music program that was more geared towards the academic side, so a little bit more musicology heavy. So it definitely kind of was something I decided on pretty late in my undergrad career to pursue graduate training in organ. And so at Amherst, I was the only organist at the entire college. And so one thing that I really liked about IU was that there was a large community of organ students. And it was that it was a really collegial environment, really friendly, supportive people. And definitely in my time here, I would say I've learned as much from my fellow students that I have in the classroom. So it's been really great to be in this kind of student environment. And I was really drawn to the quality of teaching here as well. I really loved working with Dr. Young. And I've been lucky enough to work with many great people over the course of my musical training, but he definitely ranks among the best. So I really enjoyed my master's degree here. And even when I left for Yale, I always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to come back here for my doctorate. I studied some more with Dr. Young. So I think just the faculty are so invested in all their students, very supportive. I've learned a lot from my lessons and my applied studies, and also from the classroom experience. And one thing that I really like about IU is that I think we take school seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. So we have a lot of really smart and talented students here, but it's a really kind of relaxed environment. I think it's been really great for my learning.
Hello, my name is Trent Whisenant, and I am an incoming master's student studying sacred music and organ with Professor Carr. I did my undergrad at the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee in music and political science. When I was looking at grad schools in particular, I was looking for a school that would have a lot to offer in terms of not only just faculty, but also in terms of different instruments to play on. And I think IU is very unique in the different opportunities it provides, not only for performance instruments, but also practice instruments. We have such a wide variety of instruments to practice on here, so that you can really find an instrument that not only suits the rep that you're working on, but also really suits the kind of sound and feel that you're trying to get out of that piece. This is certainly an odd time to enter as a new student, but what I've learned is that all of the existing students have really worked very hard to try to include all of the new students into the fold here. They seem to really take a lot of pride in a sense of community that we have here across all different degree levels. It never seems as if we're divided between grad students and undergrads, or doctoral and masters or undergrad students. We all seem to really coalesce around this idea that we're all organ students, all practicing this one craft that we can all take a lot of pride in and that we could all learn from each other from.
Hi, I'm Evan Cogswell. I am finishing the coursework in my doctorate, which means that I've completed all my coursework and I'm now doing the final exams and then writing my dissertation. I grew up in Connecticut. I did my undergrad at the Hart School in a double major in composition and organ. Then I did my master's in organ at the Yale School of Music and Institute of Sacred Music, and then I came here for my doctorate. I'm currently the dean of the AGO chapter. The AGO in Bloomington is largely partnered with the Jacobs Organ School, and we work largely with students. All of our positions on the board are held by students, with one faculty advisor, which rotates every 2 years. Like the AGO throughout America, we promote student concerts, choral concerts, hire guest speakers and master classes each year. So every year when we're not in COVID, the AGO hosts a choral fest, which is a big choral concert put on by the choral organ department, which usually is first weekend of February. And last year we did Viern's Messe Solennelle. Year before that, we did music from Queen Victoria's coronation, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. And each year there's usually a theme, and that's the big work of what the AGO and the Jacobs Organ Department do together. I've had a wonderful time here. I studied with Dr. Young. That's one of the reasons I came here. I wanted to work with him. Another draw was the library, the resource system that is just one of the best in the country for music. I find the performance opportunities have really been great. The coursework is fantastic, especially for doctorals. The organ lit classes that we take cover so much information about the organ that's just so much useful for performing, for knowledge, for teaching one day, which I hope to do. As a doctoral students, we have to do 3 recitals over the course of 3 years. So there's so much opportunity to play different reps, different organs. You can play the Fisk in our hall, the one in Alumni Hall, and now that there's a new Fritz at First Presbyterian, you can play there as well. I'd say go someplace where you feel you'll be welcomed and be challenged, which IU has done for me, both through those fantastic colleagues and really supportive department we have here, and also the opportunities and the coursework, which I found to be a pretty good balance between, challenging but not overwhelming.
So I'm here at Garvie. I'm finishing my master's in organ performance and sacred music. I'll be graduating in December, but I'm staying for the performance diploma. I did my undergraduate at Boston University with Peter Sykes, but I actually started my undergraduate and did the first 2 years at a local community college and then transferred. So I have multiple college experiences in undergrad. I'm originally from the Northeast, from New York, grew up in a small town, and I came here 2.5 years ago to study with Dr. Fischel. It was really the sacred music program. It was the double degree with performance and sacred music, and I realized when I was looking around that if I had drawn up a fantasy organ degree program, it almost matched identical to the classes and the courses and the skills offered here at IU. So it's a full performance degree, and you take the pedagogy and the organ literature classes, and you're in lessons and you're in choir. But on top of that, you take specific sacred music classes, most of which are with Professor Carr. So we have sacred music in philosophy and practice, which is incredibly valuable as a church musician to learn just the nitty-gritty behind the scenes of what it takes to be a church organist. And history of Christian worship music is really fun and interesting and challenging, and a different perspective on music and different traditions and where this whole crazy thing that we do originated. My favorite class is probably choral rehearsal techniques with Walter Huff. It's a lot of fun because it's mostly organists and choral conductors, and we work together a lot in various churches, on various projects. And that is actually a class that I will be retaking in the performance diploma because I just found it so valuable. So the performance diploma is, well, it's not actually a degree in a way, it's an opportunity to continue studying at the graduate level with a little bit more freedom of which classes you take. So you take lessons, you're in choir, you're enrolled in chamber music, which I love, and then you just have to take X number of music credits. And so what I'm using it as an opportunity to do is to really focus on more of the choral conducting skills, more of the sacred music skills that I want to keep building. But I get to choose which of the classes I take, which is why I'll be retaking Professor Huff's class. And then I'll also be doing an independent study focusing on liturgical accompaniment.
Hello, my name is Loomer, and I'm a first-year doctoral student here at Indiana University studying with Christopher Young. I did my undergrad at the Eastman School of Music, where I studied with David Higgs. Then I did my master's at Yale University, where I studied with Martin Jean and studied improvisation with Jeffrey Grillhart. Here at IU, I work in the piano department as a piano AI. This is a wonderful position as it gives me experience not only teaching secondary piano lessons, but also a couple piano classes, group piano classes. This teaching experience is really wonderful and is also an interesting way to take what I'm learning in my organ lessons and what I'm learning not just about organ playing, but about teaching and pedagogy and transferring it to my own teaching through these piano lessons and these piano classes. I came to IU for the wonderful teaching here. I've learned so much from the faculty, not only from my primary teacher, Professor Young, but also from Professors Fischel and Carr. It's a wonderful environment filled with talented and hardworking students and faculty whose love of music drives their passion.
Hello, my name is Jihye Choi. I'm originally from South Korea. I'm a second-year doctoral student studying with Dr. Fischel. I've been studying at IU since 2017. I finished my performance diploma and decided to continue the Doctor of Music degree here with Dr. Fischel. I chose to stay at IU because my time in the PD program has been the most inspiring years of my life. I'm always surrounded by talented people, so there are many opportunities to develop collaborative repertoires in addition to solo repertoires, such as choral accompaniment and chamber music. The organ department at IU also provides regular access to beautiful organs. Most importantly, all of the faculty here are truly inspiring individuals and mentors. They are true professionals dedicated to their teaching and caring for their students. As an organ curator GA, my responsibility is mostly to assist Mr. Fischel in tuning the organ before recitals and clean organ practice rooms. I also hold a piano AI position. I teach a piano group class for non-music major students, and I teach music majors secondary piano. As an international student, teaching was the most challenging because of language barriers. But I was able to overcome it by constantly practicing my English and presentation skills. This has been a valuable experience for me, and I feel that I've come that much closer to my professional dream.
Hi, my name is David Boeckh. I'm a first-year master's student studying with Dr. Young, and I'm the graduate assistant for the organ department. I did my undergraduate degree at Oberlin Conservatory, graduating in 2018, and then I spent 2 years working as the organ scholar at Trinity Episcopal Cathedral in Portland, Oregon, before coming to IU this fall. Some of my duties as the organ department GA include keeping track of our department calendar, posting on our social media pages, and assisting the organ curator. And this semester in particular, a lot of my energy has gone into adapting to the pandemic, streaming some of our organ department events, and creating this video for our virtual audition season. I've really enjoyed conducting these interviews with my fellow students because in so many ways their experiences echo my own. I decided to come to IU because of the high level of instruction, the dedicated students and faculty, and the emphasis on sacred music. This is definitely a strange time to be starting a new degree program, but as a new student I've had a great first semester so far, and I'm so grateful to be in such a supportive and adaptable environment. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little bit of a feel for our department and learned something. If you have any more questions in this audition process, please don't hesitate to reach out to the faculty or students.